I'm at Black Rifle Coffee here in San Antonio on the west side, and I'm just gonna talk about my nightmares. I have fucking nightmares, okay? I have PTSD, but my nightmares don't really have, I don't have like trauma from combat, the war, as much as I used to. I think most of it's kind of dissipated. It's been many years, and it used to be bad to where, I would jump off the bed and I would jump on the ground. I would lay flat on the ground because I would think that I'm gonna get shot at or whatever. Like, and it's really like, I mean, I guess it's normal to me. It's normal because when people are driving by my neighborhood, first of all, there are gunshots. This is real. My neighbors found bullet casings, down the street, and we've had to make police reports, and I have video footage of motherfuckers breaking in cars with guns and shit. So I hear all these gunshots all the time. And then you have these old fucking cars that they're really loud. Like, it sounds like gunshots, And so these are my nightmares, that I'll just jump out of bed, jump on the ground and shit, and I'll be like, my heart will be racing. Or sometimes I'll think I'm fucking dead, and I don't, and then so my heart's racing, and I'm probably gonna die of a heart attack from one of these crazy trips. But, back to my nightmares. I have two main nightmares that I have, right? Here's one I'll talk about first so I don't forget. I had recently, just a few days ago. I was like, it was a horror film, right? If you ever seen the worst horror film, crazy rated R horror, HORROR, horror film, and just like gruesome violence and shit like that, right? Demonic shit, to where, like, if you're watching TV by yourself at night, everything's just quiet, everything's dark, and you're just focused on that TV, right? Well, in my dream, I got sucked into the TV, and I could not get out. I could not withdraw. I could not go back on the couch. I cannot turn the TV off. Now I'm in the TV. I'm in this horror film. And I'm like, fucking shit, I can't get out. I'm fucked. It's like, how do I get out of this dream or this fucking TV? And sometimes you're dreaming, you can't get out. Sometimes you're dreaming. I sometimes make myself wake up, but sometimes it's like I'm kind of stuck. I don't know if it's a dream or if I'm in a TV, and I just keep going from one place to the next, and it's weird. I'm sure it's normal. I mean, I guess, I don't remember most of my dreams anyway. They could all be like this. I don't know. But the other dream I have is, see, that was the nightmare one. Another dream I had, and this is kind of like more of a metaphor, I guess. But the dream I have is like, since I've spent 7 years in the psych wards, 3 years in jail, for a total of 10 years locked up in the system, the legal judicial system, right? Dealing with the law and all that shit. Lawman, boss man, all these bullshit doctors and shit like that. Like, okay, so all these gang members, they're all there. The cartel's there, gang members. They're everywhere, right? Especially they're incarcerated in these institutions, right? They run a lot of these facilities. They run them, and they're the ones getting the drugs in. They're the ones putting hits on people. They're the ones, like, getting all the tattoos, getting, all that shit, doing all the crimes and shit. And the guards, they just like, they kind of like just babysit. They kind of just like let it happen. They even smuggle shit in because they don't want to get killed. They don't want their families to get a hit put on them. So they kind of just like go along with these prisoners because, like, oh, okay, you're gonna kill this junkie or this predator or this child abuser or this rapist, whatever. Kill him. I don't give a fuck. And you could say that's corruption. I wouldn't care. If I was a prison guard, I'd be like, kill him. I don't give a fuck. I'd be like, here's a shank. Fucking, that makes me a bad guy, I guess. But that's just like, I guess, my morals and beliefs and character, I guess. But, I don't feel that I should protect like heinous members of society. My protection is reserved for good people, like innocent, good people. If you're not innocent or good, I shouldn't work in a prison because none of them are innocent or good. And if they're gonna kill each other, it's like, well, I guess I'm in for a show, But that's just like, that's a little off track. But back to okay, cartel runs everything, gangs run all the institutions, prisons, jails, psych wards, all that shit. And the nurses, they just participate, the doctors participate, the guards and cops, they participate, whatever. But so my dream, this was like a nightmare, but a dream, to where maybe I had some strong ties with these gangs, and I had some affiliations, and I knew people on a certain level. It's not like how you get in places like this. It's about who you know, right? Who do you know? How do you know them, right? It's not about like, oh yeah, I'm a part of it and I do this. Well, you're either like a dumb soldier that's just disposable and they could fuck you off and, you know, kill you at any time, or you're a valuable asset and you know people, you know places, you know how to make shit happen, you know. So, you know, if I'm one of these people that makes shit happen, knows people, knows places, knows, you know, how to get myself about from place to place, and kind of like an organized criminal, right? Well, maybe they didn't want me to be a bad guy. Maybe they said, look, you served some time in the military, you deserve to be out there in the community living a good life, you deserve to live the American dream, you deserve to take care of your family, you deserve to have a future, a bright future, and you deserve to get an education and support your children, right? Your unborn children, you know, your spouse, your future spouse, all this stuff, just having a future, right? Maybe in another country as an expat, maybe, you know, more career opportunities, just having a better life, right? Maybe a healthier life. They don't want to see me rot in jail, rot in prison, rot in a psych ward, take drugs, end up retarded, end up dead in a psych ward, or killed in a psych ward for some crazy person, crazy patient, or some gang member, shit like that. They don't want to see just back and forth. It's all back and forth, retaliation. We all want to get out. Sometimes you got to pay your way out. You got to pay the top generals, top leaders, whatever, pay them to, hey, I want to renounce my citizenship. I want out. I don't want a part of it. I put my work in. I did my time. It's like the military. I signed a contract. I did my time. My contract is complete. My contract is expired. Okay, it's terminated. I did an honorable contract. I served my time. It's over. I want my freedom, right? Like a gladiator. A gladiator fights. Gladiators fight. You earn your freedom. You're a slave. I've been a slave. Okay, military. It's a lot of hard work. It's not easy. You know, you have to do everything you're told, anything you're told, right? Pretty much. There's hazing involved. There's all this stuff that shouldn't happen. But the training is tough. Sometimes it's unnecessary. Sometimes it's just out of sheer boredom. You know, it's like, well, you know, I was a slave, and now I've earned my freedom, right? I'm free. And now that I'm out, my contract is expired. Hey, I'm free now, right? And maybe these psych patients and these gang members that are still institutionalized, they say, hey, look, this guy got out, you know, that's good, we did something. Even though they might be in there for life, they're like, hey, you don't need to be in here for life, get the fuck out there, do something with yourself, right? So that's what I'm trying to do, get out here, do something with myself. That's more positive a dream, right? They want something better for me. And so, you know, I have nightmares, I have dreams. These are my nightmare dreams, and you know, I hope that made sense. But yeah, that's part of my journey. So you know, I just want to document that. If that struck a chord with anyone, just let me know. If that helps anyone, just let me know. And that's kind of what I want for anyone watching my content as well. You know, you could get out of the game, you could renounce your citizenship, whatever you think you're a part of, cartel, gang, whatever, you could get out. And you could leave the country, leave the state, leave the city, start a new life, start over. You know, your family wants better for you. Other people in the world, you know, you have friends that you haven't even met yet. Friends you haven't even met yet that want better for you, right? People that want better for you. There's good people out there, right? The people you're hanging out with, doing drugs, drinking, you know, all this gang stuff, gang warfare, whatever, drug overdose, fentanyl, all that shit. You know, those aren't your friends. Those aren't good people, right? There's other good people out there. You have to find them, right? Network. Look out, reach out to them, find them, NA groups, go to NA groups. NA groups is what I go to. NA.org, that's the website. NA.org or AA.org, AA, right? AA groups, and just network, find good people, sober people that want to stay clean, right? Clean freaks. I'm a clean freak. That's what I am. You know, I keep my place clean. You know, I keep my body clean. You know, and that's internally as well, from drugs and poison and alcohol. You want to be a clean freak, right? It's the best way to be, right? Like a germaphobe. And so that's what I'll say on that. Just get clean, stay clean. You know, start a new life for yourself. You know, your family wants better for you. Your parents that raised you as a kid, they don't want to see you spiral down, right? They want to see you succeed further than they were able to, right? And that's what you're gonna want for your kids, right? You're gonna want to see them succeed further and be more successful than you were able to achieve in life, right? You want to look up to them. You don't want to be looking down on them and holding their hand and all that stuff. You want to be looking up to them, and like they've made it way above, further than you could have ever imagined. And whatever that looks like, you know, there's some janitors that have kids and their kids might become doctors, right? I knew a nurse. He was a PNA, psychiatric nursing assistant. He was a black man, and he said like a couple of his kids, like his daughter and his son, became doctors, right? So, and he was just a PNA making $13 an hour, but they studied, they trained hard, and they became some kind of doctor. So if he was telling the truth, you know, that just goes to show any janitor, doesn't matter. Like, you know, my mother's a teacher, right? And her daughter, my sister, you know, worked her way up, got an Ivy League school, you know, got a very extensive, high quality education, and got a extremely good job, right? And she's very successful. And you know, that's what we all should want for our family members, right? Success, high level of education, high level of importance and influence in the community, right? Wherever it is, your company you work at, your network, your community, being a powerful, influential member of society, to where you make an impact somehow, you make a difference, whatever it is. For me, I sell books, I sell educational content, right? My program, I try to clean people up. I try to clean people off the streets from doing drugs and alcohol. I try to keep them clean, right? Stay clean, playing chess, keeping their minds active, reading books, going to college, becoming a car salesman, whatever, getting work, doing something more productive, making more money, and taking care of their family, living the American dream. This is what I try to send this positive message out. And so, like, for anyone else, could be being a doctor, dentist, working on teeth, right? Working on a skin as a dermatologist, or an eye doctor, ophthalmologist, anything like that, right? There's brain surgeons, there's all sorts of different heart surgeons, cardiologists, pharmacologists, right? All these different kinds of jobs as doctors that they specialize, that, you know, anyone can make it in these fields, and anyone can specialize it. Anyone can make it, you know, there's all sorts of jobs that are in high demand that, you know, where you could be a positive, influential, powerful, impactful member of the community and change people's lives, right? You're helping people with their health, right? You're saving people's lives, you're rescuing them, right? From disease, cutting out cancer, giving them chemo, you know, supporting them, you know, in a hospital, whatever. Like some doctors, they believe that psych medicine helps. They believe, you know, psych ward treatment can help people. I don't know. I'm not going to comment on that. It didn't work for me, but that it can work for some people, I guess. But you know, psych doctors, that's even a thing, right? Just get psych medication, I guess. It's more of a practice than a science, I believe. But they believe they make an impact because eventually those psych patients get on a disability check and they're able to somehow make a living, and they could just spend their days doing art, watching TV, you know, just trying to live life, because I guess they're really kind of disabled, but they're a human being. They're still a human being. It's like, we can't just let human beings just rot, broke, homeless. They live with family. They can't really afford to live on their own, but you know, they need something to survive, right? And they, if they worked, they earned it. You know, they worked, and then something happened to them where they were disabled. Well, now they earned like a certain percentage of the work they put in. If they worked for 5 years, then they became disabled, then they get like, you know, 5 years worth of a percentage of, you know, a check for the rest of their lives, probably $500-700, something like that. Some people, if you work 10 years, you get more, right? If you work 20 years, you get more, right? So it depends how much you made, how much you put in. So that's how it works, you know. It's some people think it's a pyramid scheme or something like that, but it's really like, it's a safety net, and you know, it's a system that you pay into. I paid into it, you know. And if you get injured or whatever, or disabled, then it helps you get back on your feet. And if you can't, for whatever reason, then it's there for you. You earned it, right? If you feel that, you know, you have to survive off that, then that's a decision you have to make, right? Some people, they can't even make a decision. It's just like, well, they can't even think. You know, they're doing drugs all the time, or they're just mentally disabled, whatever. It's just all they know. They don't know any different. They don't know how it works. They just think God gave it to them. Like, God, this is from God. God bestowed this unto me. This is how I'm able to survive. And they just go to church and they read the Bible, right? And some people got to think about it. It's like, well, if there is a higher entity, and I'm just like this biological organism on this planet Earth, then maybe there's a higher entity or deity, or maybe there's a being, or some sort of, like, I guess, God, you could say. I want to say like a spiritual entity, right? It could be anything. It could be a universe. There could be a science to it. There could be a karma to it, right? I don't know how to explain it, but if a lot of people just simply say God, so you never know. If that's the case, I'm still alive from the universe, some sort of powerful science that we don't understand, right? Powerful science behind the cosmos, the universe, certain energies on a molecular level, like electrons, protons, neutrons, you know, atoms, all these different like tiny molecules. Somehow I survived all the shit I've been through, and somehow I'm able to survive and take care of myself. So hey, I feel that, you know, I'm accountable, I'm responsible. Maybe I did all this by myself. I had a lot of help with the free market in America and the history and how the whole world works and how the whole country works. I'm able to get care from hospitals. I'm able to get food from places because they exist, because people worked. You know, I'm able to drive on these roads because, you know, men built all the infrastructure and all this stuff. You know, we have apartments and houses because, you know, men built these things. And, you know, I guess we all play our part, you know. And I've built certain things. I've worked on certain things in my younger days. I haven't gone extreme to build a house or an apartment complex or a fucking highway or a plane or a satellite that goes in space or anything like that. But the smartest people in the world do that. The most organized, the most hard-working individuals in the world do this stuff. And we have these people in America. And we should all be grateful, right? So, you know, we all work together. We're a team. We're a team. We're on the same side. We play our part, and I try to play my part by just speaking my voice and being heard, right? I just want to send my message out there and be heard, right? There's veterans that can't be heard. There's people that cannot be heard because they're in an early grave, right? Fentanyl or gangbanging or disease or illness or cancer, whatever got to them, something, you know, got to them. And since I'm here today, this is just what I'm able to say. And I try to send, you know, positive information. And, you know, it's like, well, I'm alive. I believe I'm healthy. I don't know for sure. I do have some, you know, medical problems. But, you know, because I'm able to be alive and speak here today, I guess some of the things I'll say is that just never give up. I've said this in my podcast before. Just one of the most important things you could do is never give up. You learn this in the military. Whatever it is, if you're learning to get training at college, get tutor. I tell my family members this because some of them are considering college. Get tutoring as much as possible. Never give up. Pivot if you have to. Do something else. Get another job. get another certification, get more training, do something else, pivot, and just never give up, right? Keep on trying. You have to keep on trying. Never give up. And no matter how depressed you feel, no matter how sad or depressed, whatever the case is, if you lose someone or anything, just never give up. They wouldn't want that for you. They're gonna want you to keep trying, keep hustling, keep getting out there, making a difference, keep helping people, right? And you have to choose the people you help carefully, right? You can't help anybody. You don't know if they're gonna be grateful or appreciative. You don't wanna put yourself in danger on the street, just going to homeless people or anything like that. Help people you can in your circle, right? Maybe sometimes just yourself, help yourself. Just focus on yourself, right? You gotta put the oxygen mask on yourself before you can help anyone else. Otherwise you pass out, you can't help anybody. So help yourself, then you can help your family, then you can help your children, then you can help your friends, okay? Then you can help more people. And so just never give up, never give up. Whatever it is, whatever you're trying to do, try something new. Sometimes they say insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results or whatever. I don't know about all that, but that just means like, if you keep doing the same thing and it's not working, you have to try something new. You have to try something new, right? And that just goes to the fact that just never give up, and just try something new. Don't give up. And you might have to find a new path, a new direction, but just do something else, right? So I've said this a bunch of different ways, a bunch of different times, in a bunch of different manners, but in a bunch of different fashions or whatever. But yeah, that's the main point, man. Just don't give up. So there's always hope out there. There's always possibilities for a brighter future, a brighter tomorrow, and a newer version of yourself, right? You can always, the old you, like the old me, right? You have to bury that motherfucker, right? And the old you, like the person you were when you were younger, the criminal you were when you were younger, the criminal you might be today, you have to put that motherfucker behind you and maybe establish a new split personality, right? New split personality. Hey, I'm this person, right? I'm gonna get a legal name change, and change my name. I'm no longer Adon. Maybe I'm Scott. Maybe I'm David. Maybe I'm James, right? I'm James today, and this is who I am. And so, like, I don't do drugs. That's Adon. I'm James. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't do alcohol. I'm trying to work, support a family, get a house, get a dog, take care of my family, send money home to my mother. I'm just trying to be a good citizen. I'm trying to go to church. I'm trying to take my family to hockey games, baseball games, football games, chess tournaments, archery tournaments, go to flight lessons, go to Six Flags, SeaWorld, Disney World. I'm trying to do stuff with myself and my life, educate myself, get in shape, hit the gym, take my vitamins, eat right, diet, strength training, cardiovascular training. I'm trying to donate to society. I'm trying to contribute. I'm trying to make an impact in the world and be influential in the world, okay? And that's who I am, okay? This old person, that's not me anymore, right? I got a legal name change. I'm a whole different person. You can't mess with me now. So, I don't mess with drug dealers, change my number. Everything about me is different. I'm not even the same person. I don't know who you're talking about. So that's what you got to be like. That's what you have to be like. That's the mindset you have to have, right? You have to completely change who you are so you could be successful. And that's how kind of I've done it, right? I'm just a whole different person, right? So that's what I'll say. Just never give up. Never give up. Keep on trying, right? You're going to figure something out. Just figure something out. You're going to figure something out. Use AI, use your friends, pray, go to church, ask God. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it does take time. And it might take a while, but you will figure something out. You will make it work for you and your family, okay? Just never give up. That's what I'll say for now. Stay safe. Take it easy.